welcome back to another Spinato Spin. Excited as all get out to get to you today. Here we are, the summer's almost over in some people's mind, but not really. We're in day 50 here. We still got about a good 45 days to go, or 40 days to go before summer's over. Just thought I'd throw some thoughts at you, make you think a little bit. Here's a question for you. Are you in sales? Do you consider yourself a salesperson? Now, a lot of people are going to think about that. Consider this. Do you really, in your day-to-day activity, engage in sales activity? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I know the answer, but I wanted to know if you thought about it enough. Of course you are. You're always trying to sell something. Some are good at it, some aren't. And that's just the way it is. It's almost like if you want to talk about acting, right? We're all actors at one point or another, aren't we? Not everything is totally verbatim. Everything's just totally written out of the book as to what we're doing every day. There's always some gray area. Well, sales comes down to a simple concept of persuasion. There are techniques. There are things that you bought and things that you believed that you were going to get. You were sold them. I imagine that. Here's another statistic which is absolutely amazing. Most of the profits in United States companies or all over the world, the biggest profit comes when a salesperson's involved. Why? Because he knows how or she knows how to create value. And what's value? Value means people pay a little bit more money because now they perceive that they're getting a little bit more. That's what sales is all about. There's a lot of things that go on day-to-day life that we never realize is happening to us. The best sales opportunity you ever had, and you think about it, raise your hand if you're married out there or have a significant other, whatever it is. You ever ask a girl out on a date? Well, or a guy, back and forth, whatever way you want to look at it, folks. You are selling. You're always selling yourself. Some people sell themselves short. Some people don't do that great of a job. Maybe because they're not aware of it. Maybe because they're not as confident in it as they should be. That's not a problem. I'm here to tell you something, folks. I just tried my best to sell you that you are a salesperson. Now I'm going to give you some techniques on how to sell. You got to create interest. That's the number one thing, right? It's kind of like, you snap your finger. Some people get somebody's attention. You raise your hand in school, you get somebody's attention, right? It's the same thing with sales. You got to stand out a little bit. You got to be willing to step ahead, step forward. Here's a good one for you. Somebody says to you, gee, we ought to get together. You want to get together with the person. You say, well, is there a day of the week that's better for you? And whatever day they say, you know what you say? Is 6 o'clock at night good, or is 9 in the morning better for you? What's that, folks? That's a sale right there, isn't it? You just sold the appointment. You just sold it that simple. See how easy that is? Anyone could have said that. You know, a little kid, geez, Mom, I'm going to get either this ice cream sandwich or I'm going to get this fudgicle right now. Which one do you think I should get? Bam, just like that. See how simple it is? It happens over and over, and we don't even realize it. Here's another one you can look at. Let's take a look at the picture there. No bull selling. Hank Trisler. Great concept in there. It's the big H's, or I should say the W's. What, when, where, why. Okay? Those are all the big H's. What do you have? What does the person want? When do they want it? Why do they want it? Those are all things you find out in sales. Those are all things that you need to know. You see, you're in a situation where you're creating an idea in a person's head, and your job is to fill that idea, solve that problem. It's kind of like it works this way, real simple with sales. It goes what, so what, now what do we do? Real simple. What is it? Okay, so what? Well, this widget can do this, and this. Well, do I need it? Let's see if it'll solve that problem. Here's one thing I want to let you understand too, give you a little bit more confidence in when you're in sales. Understand this. Most people in sales dread this expression. And I'm going to go over it with you, and that's probably going to wrap it up for the night. But most people go over this opportunity, and they look at it, and they hear this one expression. They say, the person gives them a presentation and says, I want to think it over. That's great, wonderful. You want to think it over. Okay, I'm going to give you a little bit of a narrative as we go along. Person says, I want to think it over. Wonderful. What's your response? Well, here's what you want to understand, right? The person wants to think it over, and when they say that, they only say it for one or two reasons. Number one, they want to be polite, and they just want to tell you they're not interested. Or the other one is, they are interested, they want to think it over, but they're just not sure. Now you think about it, just not sure. If that's the case, wouldn't you want to find out? How do you do it? Real simple. You say, that's wonderful, you want to think it over. You know what, let me level with you, Jim. Whenever we hear that people want to think it over, it's usually only for one or two reasons. Number one, they're just not interested. Or number two, they're interested and they see the value of it, but they're just not sure. Which one is it? You see, the magic of it is to say that real quick. Which one is it? Which one is it? Now the person's either you're in or you're out, right? And I'll tell you one thing. I was in sales for a number of years. The thing that drove me the craziest was when I'd sit there and a person would say, I want to think it over. And if I didn't do this procedure and I didn't go through all these steps, you know what would happen? I'd say, oh, that's wonderful. Okay, when can we get together again? Do you realize this statistic is amazing? And this is just a basic understanding of human nature. What percentage do you think the person will remember 24 hours later? They only remember 25% of what you said within 24 hours. What are the chances of you getting back in there in 24 hours? Slim and none, and slim left town, right? That's not going to happen. You're not going to get them back where they are. It's almost like you got them right hot. Everything's hot. You're cooking, right? What do? Turn the fire off? No, you got to get it while it's hot. So you ask them that question. So which one is it? Well, let's say the person says, well, I'm just not sure. Well, you like it, but you're just not sure. Well, you know what, Jim? When people say that to us, it's usually for one of three reasons that they're not sure about. It's either the functionality or the product. There's certain things about it that they don't feel is going to work, or we don't have a fit. Actually, it's a fit or a functionality, or the big elephant in the room, the price. Let's go over it. Do you see the fit? Do you see where this product would work well with what you're trying to do? Person says yes. Okay? Next one, functionality. You think this product can do what you're trying to do? Will this work? Does this thing look like it's going to work? Yes. So let me just make sure we understand this. You're saying it's the price. You're saying taking everything else away, the only thing standing in the way of us putting this together today is the price. Is that right? And then the person would say, yeah, that's really it. Well, what is it about the price that doesn't match with you? You're not sure about? Well, you know, it's too high. Well, then now you got to ask them the big question. How much too high? Now you got them. Okay, folks? Now, and another thing you got to understand too, it's almost like that old joke. You know, what does POP spell? What does HOP spell? You know, POP spells pop, HOP spells hop. What do you do when you come to a green light? Stop, right? No, you go. All right? See what I'm saying? You got to get them rolling in the right direction. You got to get them one step after another, one foot after another. Okay, so now we got it down. The product's a good fit. It'll do what it's supposed to do. The price is not right. How much? What's the difference? Now what you do, real simple. You reduce it to the ridiculous. You make it as small as possible. Well, you know, this, how much too high is it? Okay, it's $200 too high. Well, let me ask you another question, Jim. How long do you plan on owning this? How long do we plan on using this? Well, I was going to use it for about 5 years. Okay, so now in your head you got $200, 5 divided by 200, that's $40 a year. Now you reduce it to the ridiculous. So that's $40 a year, Jim, right? Yeah. Well, $40 a year, give or take, let's say 50 weeks in a year, just to round it off. So all we're talking about is less than what? Maybe not even $10? $10 a week? Not even that? Maybe $1, whatever it is, right? Whatever the math adds up to. You let him add it up. And then he understands what the number is. All you say is, for that small amount of money, $10 a week, whatever it is, you're going to let that stand in the way of you to have all of these benefits that you just told me this product can bring you? And you look them in the eye, you shut up, and let me see that book. Shut up and sell, and that's it. Whoever talks first loses. And whatever they say, as soon as they say something, you just say, all I need is your okay right here. And that's it. It's that simple, folks. That's how sales is. Now, understand this. We want to make it into a profession, but in Convert You're Ready, all you're going to be doing while you're out there is being paid for the amount of time someone says no to you. That's it. Might cost you $100 a no, might cost you $50 a no. But as you add up all your sales and divide it by the number of no's, that's all you did. You paid the price for the no's. You got to be tough. You got to have a tough skin. And I'll tell you what, folks, I think you're going to do it. I think you now realize how much more of a salesperson you are than we just talked about before we started. Hope you have a great week, folks.